Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM21 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. We're back for part 74 today, and this is just about the biggest finish to a league season we could have had, particularly after joining Tottenham in mid-season. It is no longer a battle of Europa Conference or no Europe. Because of Manchester City completely bottling it this season, and because of a lucky refereeing decision a couple of games ago, it is now a case of Europa League or Europa Conference. We've got a North London derby against Arsenal managed by Thierry Henry to finish the season, and if they lose and Everton win and there's enough of a goal difference change, they could yet miss out on the Champions League. So this could be a massive episode in terms of bragging rights for North London. So if you're looking forward to that, a dramatic end to the season, and reviewing our first half a year at Tottenham and looking back at Southampton as well, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM21 content from two long-term stories. There's links to all the playlists in the eye above, including a dramatic episode yesterday with Bangor City, again against an English side, which was quite ironic. And a massive thank you for your continued support. I'm absolutely loving this move now, because it's been proven right, and we could yet finish 6th. Manchester City in 7th, you might think, well, they'll probably win their last game. They've been in rotten form, including against us. Look at that form to end the season. Drew against Burnley, lost at home to West Brom, lost against us, which we'll talk about in a moment, lost to United, lost to Liverpool, and now they've got Chelsea away on the final day. Chelsea are in 3rd, they can yet finish 2nd, which prize money-wise is a big difference. So hopefully they'll be going all out to win it. But a massive episode for us, a real opportunity, and what a game to finish the season on regardless. Our first North London derby in charge. But we are starting to get some injury problems. So let's very firstly go and have a look at those. In a medical centre, we have got a just about returning Jeremy Boga, a Joel Santos who's not quite fit, Dele Alli out for 10 days, Joe Willock and Semi Yildiz have both picked up long-term injuries which will keep them out for the summer. Dele Alli is asked to leave for a new challenge anyway, and Boga and Santos aren't quite fit. So we've actually basically run out of wingers at this point. Galini's just come back from a short knock, so he might not be fully fresh today. It's not a perfect scenario to finish the season on. If we go and have a look at the schedule though, our form certainly has been. There's a lot of luck in this though. Since you were last with me, we drew 0-0 away at Everton, where we failed to score a goal against the side that had 10 men for 55 minutes. And again, like the Watford game in the last episode, I thought it was over at that point. Manchester City did us a favour though, and then Wolves luckily let us win 2-1. We were 1-0 down at half-time, we'd played awfully, and in the second half we just went for it. We went all-out attack, and thankfully Montalval and Mendes got a goal each, and then we just clung on for 25 minutes. It worked an absolute treat. We followed that up with Manchester City. Now, we won this on an 89th minute penalty. Over the course of the game, I don't think you could say we deserved it. Let's go and have a look at the stats. But the penalty decision itself was appalling. It was never a penalty. The referee went to VAR and the commentary said, oh my word, he's still giving it, essentially. But if we have a look at the stats, we had 2 shots on target, scored 2 goals. One of those was a penalty. Montalval's goal was an absolute screamer. It wasn't like a great created chance. And Manchester City had 15 chances, 6 on target, and an expected goals of over 2, yet lost 2-1. So exactly what we did against Watford in reverse, and we were so fortunate to get the win. But that has given us the opportunity. We then followed it up with a 4-2 win at Fulham. Wright got a brace coming back into the side, and Joel Santos did as well. And then Manchester City drew with Burnley, which leaves us in 6th and in pole position for the Europa League, rather than just the Europa Conference. So better in Manchester City's result today, or matching it, if we don't get a worse goal difference out of it, will be enough to get us 6th place. And with them away to Chelsea, we just need them to do the job, so we don't have to worry about Arsenal. Everton are away to Leeds, who are mid-table, so Arsenal will have to look over their shoulder still. But let's go and get into the big game. It is a massive moment in this series. If we can beat Arsenal and secure Europa League football, we'll definitely get the fans on side. It's Chelsea City and Tottenham Arsenal on TV. The dynamics look excellent. The club atmosphere is so much better than when we joined. So let's have a look at what the assistant recommends. He wants Aaron Smith back in for Mendes at left back. I'm not going to do it. Mendes has been brilliant since he's come in, and I'm going to leave him in that role for the rest of the year. What we have got to worry about though is the wingers, because the only ones available are Boga, Santos and Neres, and 2 of those are injured. Neres is the worst one at the club. He's going to have to start on the left, which is his unnatural side. Santos will play off the right with his injury. Boga will play off the bench with his injury. We haven't got really many other options. We have got Solanke who can come in, but he's back from injury and not fit himself. And the only thing we have been doing in recent games is changing Pereira to a complete forward, because he's really not played well as an advanced forward. And he's picked up his goals later on playing the opposite way. He's getting more assists that way as well. So this is the lineup we've gone for today. Injury affected, but still pretty strong. We've got Galini in goal. Sina and Mendes the fullbacks, with Longley and Siunchu at centre-half. Reina and Montalval in the middle. We take another scream up from the Brazilian wonder kid. Santos on the right wing with a knock. Neres in on the left for a rare start. And Ryan Wright back in form behind Pereira up front. We could do with him returning to his best today as well. The North London derby will decide Champions League and Europa League places. And for us, it's keeping an eye on Stamford Bridge, because we have to match City's result. Arsenal, of course, have their strongest side out. Martinelli still part of it, as well as other players from England. So Dwight McNeil, Calvert-Lewin and Max Aarons are in there. They've got Chiesa on the bench. Reece Nelson still there on the bench. It's a very good squad. I'm sure that Cohen, the sub-keeper, was with us at Southampton. Correct me if I'm wrong there. They've got Todibo centre-half as well. He was at our final club, Barcelona, last year in the head coach. But let's go and get into the first half. It's a big game. There's a couple of unsure players there. But we need to put in our best display. The Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is finally packed. We've got a great opportunity to wrap up Europa League football. Let's get the other results on the screen. Well, Chelsea v Manchester City is 1-1. We've had the most chances here, but no highlights. And now Dwight McNeil's got a chance for Arsenal. Back to Clayton, the left back. Into midfield. We're pressing high, but I think they're going to beat it. It's out to Max Aarons on the wing. It's been closed down, but Mendes has been committed. He's into the box from Aarons. Siunchu intercepts. Brilliant composed defending. And it's out to Santos on the right from the brilliant Galini clearance. Santos beats two. Doesn't look injured here, does he? It's a good save by Lima. It was straight at him in truth. But what a run from Santos. City back on level terms, of course, so we've got to try and get the lead here, as Gabriel Martinelli's on the way forward. And this game's going to be nervy for that reason. A lot of quality, quick attacking players for Arsenal. And we're going to have to suck it up and try and counter. Martinelli with a shot there. Good save from Galini. And hopefully there's not many more of those to come, because I'd fancy them to take one eventually. As it's an outswinging corner from Enrique. The ball player in this Arsenal team. Good header from Calvert-Lewin. Almost a backwards header. But straight into the grateful arms of Galini. Chelsea have got the lead at Stamford Bridge again. Mount and Pulisic, two of the originals, still there. And City are level again. What a half an hour it's been in that game. Reina delivers a corner for us. Santos heads over. Oh, that was a clear-cut chance. Had to score it, really. It's 3-2 to Chelsea. Pulisic has scored. We should have just gone and watched this game. Let the assistant take charge of ours. Let's go and watch the Chelsea City game, as Reina's got a free kick. Stroke of half-time here. Down the left-hand side, chance to cross. All the players still up from the set piece, but it's cleared away easily. Nuno Mendes picks it up. Chips it to Santos on the right. He's got three with him. Plays into Reina. Down the right-hand side. Back to Sina, the right back. Beats the defender. He's got a chance to cross here. Three in the middle. He shoots himself. He's so greedy for a defender. He does that all the time. But at half-time, we've been the better side and it's 0-0 here. And quite frankly, if Chelsea is still winning at Stamford Bridge, this result's a very good one. Pereira up front again has been good, but not really got him behind. So I'm actually going to sacrifice his performance now. I'm going to put him up front as the advanced forward. He doesn't play as well there, but he scores more goals. So let's see what he can do in this half. As with 5 minutes gone, we've dominated the match still, but there's no real sign of a goal. And it's a throw-in on the left-hand side for Mendes. Into right. He's come back into the team, done really well. That's a good cross to Santos, but he's just beaten to it by Clayton. Sina gets there again. He can't shoot again, surely. Back to Santos. There's the goal. He has not looked injured in this game. He's been absolutely sublime. And Tottenham lead in the North London derby. And with City behind at Stamford Bridge still by 3-2. We've got a chance to wrap up 6th though. Henrique straight down the other end. Todibo wins the header off the line by Mendes. Magana into Papetti. Santos with him. And it's intercepted by Mendes in the end. Still a chance to cross though. Good block again. Third time lucky for Arsenal, is it? Great block again from Mendes. Still with Papetti on the right hand side. Cuts it back to Henrique. Chance to cross in towards the centre forward. Siunchu heads clear to Santos. Now we can counter. Through to Pereira. And it's just over hit for the keeper. Lima hoofs downfield. Martinelli flicks on. Reina hacks it away. It's a frantic London derby, but we've still got the 3 points as it stands. And we're comfortably in 6th place at the moment, as Aarons throws in down the right-hand side for Arsenal. Surging forward again. Inside to McNeil. He gets it wide to Martinelli. Back to McNeil for a second time. To Henrique. To Magana. Henrique wide to Max Aarons. He's got 3 in the middle. Calvert-Lewin's one. Down to Martinelli, who scores. And I have no idea why we only have one defender in the box there. But it's an awful bit of defending, and despite dominating the game again, we're throwing away our chance to win it. The North London derby is all square, and now we keep our eyes peeled on Manchester City. 15 minutes to go, we've got to make some changes here. Santos looks shattered. I've got to make the change, haven't I? Bogle will be on as the winger. He's no fitter, but can hopefully do 15 minutes. We're also going to take off Montalval, who's been anxious and has struggled in the big game. The experienced Marcos Llorente will come on for him. And then Ryan Wright looks nervous again. Can't have two good games together. But we've got no attacking options on the bench, really. So it's going to have to be... In fact, we'll bring Lee Farrell on. What we'll do is we'll push Rayner up to the number 10. We'll have Llorente and Farrell in midfield. We'll have Rayner in as the number 10 player. And with 15 minutes to go, we've just got to cling on and make sure we get this point. Chelsea have got a fourth. The worry is over. They've got a fifth now as well. Chelsea have beaten Manchester City. They have wrapped up Europa League football for us. And now it just becomes about pride in a derby. Can we make sure we don't lose? Or could it get even better? Rayner nicks it high up the pitch. Boga's got a knock. Neres is knackered. But Rayner's going alone. And it's a good stave by Costa Lima. Tips it over the bar for the corner. And we're still threatening. We've been brilliant performance-wise. We've just got to find a way to take our chances. Perea again. Not really looking the player up front on his own. We're going to go for a complete forward again. And with 5 minutes to go, City have got a third, but surely it's too late to come back. 3 minutes of stoppage time to go. It finishes Tottenham 1, Arsenal 1 in the North London derby. But given the fact that City lost 5-3 at Stamford Bridge, that's a perfect scoreline. It sends us into 6th place and into the Europa League. One hell of a recovery since joining the club. And if we look at where Southampton have finished, it will prove that this was definitely the right decision. So, final day of the season. Southampton did beat Watford in fairness, so they're back up to 11th place. But look at that, we left them 5 points ahead of Spurs, and we're now 13 ahead of them. That's the turnaround. They've managed to throw away their positive goal difference. And we've managed to pip City to 6th, so we can have our final laugh at Ant Folwell. He left us at Southampton for Champions League football, and he's now probably going to be playing in the Europa Conference, unless City win the Champions League. And interestingly, the first news item we come back to is that a player, Joel Santos, should be leaving Tottenham for City. I don't quite understand the premise of that one. Let's go and have a quick look at Manchester City. Are they still in the Champions League? I presume so, because that's the only reason we haven't had Europa League confirmed. That means they must be in the final. They're not. They went out of the quarters. So why have we not been confirmed as Europa League yet? I don't quite understand that. We've already looked at the others. Are they in the FA Cup? I didn't think of that because we just assumed that they were going to be top 6, didn't we? They're not. It's Arsenal v Everton. Oh well, it's very bizarre, but we should get the Europa League for 6th place. We'll wait and see if that happens or not. Before we skip ahead to our own end of season review, let's have a quick look at Southampton because under Brendan Rodgers, things haven't gone quite so great. They went out at the first attempt in Europe. They lost to Fenerbahce on aggregate 4-3. They had a woeful running in the Premier League, losing to the likes of Burnley, who they should have been beating. Probably Leicester, they would have expected a decent result, and Sheffield United as well. And in the FA Cup, straight after we left, they went out to Chelsea. But we probably would have done that as well, so I don't think we can judge. The other thing I wanted to check is obviously we left Derby the year before. They went back down. I wonder if they're threatening to come back up. Oh, they're in the playoff final against Newcastle United. So that'll be a nice cliffhanger for next season. Will we have 3 head coach clubs back in the Premier League? Or will Newcastle United return? A big club, of course, but that's going to be one hell of a game. Let's skip ahead to our very own end of season review, though. We'll be back in a minute to go through the best moments since we joined Tottenham Hotspur. Here we go then. We start the end of season review with Tottenham Hotspur. Of course, we've only been here for just under half of it, and all the competitions bar the Premier League we can't have any say in. I did notice while skipping through here that Carlo Ancelotti's been sacked by Manchester City, so you could argue we perhaps should have waited. But let's go and see how this season's reviewed and what we've managed to achieve since we've been here. I think it starts with the main aim for next year, which is under this Tottenham Hotspur end of season review. Next year, I want a picture of a trophy there. Don't care if it's the League Cup, don't care if it's the Europa League, Europa Conference, FA Cup, it won't be the Premier League. But any of those, we've got to win something. Tottenham haven't won anything in this career so far. They haven't won anything, that means probably for 20 years since the Carabao Cup in 08 or 07. So this is going to be a real big moment for Tottenham, and we have to win something next year. I know I risk sounding like Jose Mourinho, but that's the mentality we're going for. Let's have a look at the signings then. A few players out on loan, ones that have come in this year, not really first teamers. We were obviously here when Longley and Montalval joined. They were the 2 signings after we came in. And to be fair, they've both done alright. A lot of the others didn't really make sense. No, you're not telling me that Dominic Solanke was £62 million. I'm sorry. They didn't. 49 million up front, rising to 62. What were they thinking? I'm going to take back what I said about that director of football. He might well have proven himself to be stupid there. He's 29 as well. He's not scored a Premier League goal. That's ludicrous. That's one of the worst things I've seen in this game. Let's go through to the next season's results. We were responsible for this one. 6th place, back into Europe. We think it's going to be Europa League. But of course we joined in 10th place, 5 points off 7th. And now we've managed to catch City, which looked like being impossible. They were about 15 points ahead. The second half of the season, we've just been sublime. I think we've only lost 2 or 3 games. We lost against Liverpool and United. Yes, we've only lost 2 games. We've drawn 4 and won the rest. But we had this at Derby. We had it at Southampton. The honeymoon period when you start. And then it all starts to go wrong. We had that at Hibs and Dundee as well, don't forget. So a really good opportunity for us next season. If we can get people fit, if we can tweak the tactic and get improvements in those 2 or 3 positions. The director of football has got to get us a good right back. Has got to get us a good keeper. And probably with the centre halves, we need one of them now as well. If he can do that, I think the sky's the limit for this Tottenham team. We're probably not a big enough and strong enough squad yet to win the Premier League. But I can't see why with the right draw we can't win a Carabao Cup or a Europa League. The FA Cup's always been my favourite competition, so it'd be lovely if we could do that. The club went out really early in those this year. Knocked out in a 3rd round replay by Charlton of League One. Knocked out by Wolves in the Carabao Cup. We've just got to prioritise them next year. And that's the opportunity for us. Let's really go for the Cups. We need a good squad to do that though, and we're not going to be in charge of that side. Goal of the season was from Perea in a game before we joined the club. Match to remember was a win at Wolves, a Dele Alli hat-trick again before we joined. And the biggest win was very much after we came to the club. Perea with a brace, Yildiz with a brace as we beat Sheffield United by 4-0. Financially, the club's looking okay. The club reputation's dropping. I guess they haven't been in Europe this year. They've gone out the Cups early. We'll look to rebuild that as we're in the Europa League next season. Of course, the income's gone down as a result of that. But now we've got European football back. So the club can look forward to investing that money and hopefully a bit of extra income again. The best 11 for the season, a little bit different to what we would have had. Obviously, Longley came in at centre-half. Mendes, for me, was the better left-back of the two. And then in midfield, probably off the left wing, we'd have a Yildiz rather than Boga. But a good side. If a full season under us, I'm sure they would improve yet further. But let's be honest, we've done pretty well since we joined. And the players we've got there, there's a number of superstars. So not much else to be excited about. That is the end of season review. I was just looking to see if there was any transfer budgets there. Have we got one yet? No. Our next season should be 45.93. So that should be enough for a couple of players to come in. We've got a few players who are out of contract or who are leaving the club in the summer, particularly out of the reserve side. Those that are on 10, 15 grand a week, they all add up. And next season, you never know what to expect. We could have a very good year with Tottenham Hotspur. So we'll finish on the competition screen. We, of course, are delighted to get back into Europe and finish in 6th place. It should be Europa League football. And we'll obviously find out if Derby are rejoining us in the Premier League. Southampton dropping away. It's going to be interesting next year. But for us, it's about making sure we're better than Everton. Maybe moving up another place. We're not a million miles away. You saw that against Arsenal, the way we played. We've just got to find a way to be a bit more potent, a bit more classy on the ball, and hopefully shore up that defence with a couple of top-class signings. If you did enjoy the season, though, and that final game in the North London derby, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know in the comments if you think it was the right move to leave Southampton. I think the table speaks for itself, in truth. But of course, you might think the next season things are going to fall away. For me, I think we're in good shape. We've just got to keep the star players in the summer, and the director of football has got to make sure that we get 2 or 3 in key positions. If you want to stay up to date and are looking forward to the big transfer special in 2 days' time, please do subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. A massive thank you for your continued support as always. You can catch up with all the playlists in the eye above. As we mentioned, a big one with Bangor City yesterday. The season will be finishing tomorrow. And of course, you can catch up with the live stream series, the FM Insight series, and of course the podcast channel up there too. There's a link in the description below to the Twitch channel where we'll have our first stream later this month. But a massive thank you for watching, your continued support with the series as always. And I'll see you next time with European football and a transfer special from Tottenham Hotspur.